Hello all and welcome to this video, which is me visiting a CEX store that I've never been to for the very first time. And the store in question, as you'll have seen in the title and thumbnail, is the one in Chelmsford. Yes, Chelmsford isn't actually that far from me, but just never been there. So it was nice to go there and have a look around a new store. A very big store, by the way. Nice big store, that one, honestly. I was surprised at how big the store was. This day out, by the way, was made possible again by my good friend Big Game Al. Yes, Carlos me has to thank Big Game Out again. He's made a lot of days possible lately, and I do appreciate everyone, mate, so thank you very much. So yes, we hit up the Chelmsford CEX, and obviously while we were there, we did hit up all of the charity shops and a cash converters as well. So I'm going to insert the footage that I took when I was at the Chelmsford CEX now, and then the pickups afterwards will be a few pickups from that CEX, and of course a couple of other pickups from the cash converters and a couple of charity shop finds as well. So here we go, insert footage. there we go, footage from inside CEX Chelmsford branch. I hope you enjoyed that. So it's time to show you all of the pickups that I got from the day out in Chelmsford and visiting that new to me CEX store. So let's start with the 3 games that I picked up in that CEX. And the very first one is ironically a game that I mentioned in my last pickups video, the one where I went on a bit of an excursion to the Midlands, again with Big Game Al. And in that video I picked up a winter sports game and I said, oh, I'm missing the Summer Stars one, which doesn't turn up very often, even though it isn't that expensive. And lo and behold, bloody hell, yep, they had it. And like I said, it's not that expensive. It's only £2.50. Now, that CEX is one that I don't know, because I've never been there before, if they keep the manuals in the games, or you're going to have to wait till it gets to the counter to find out if they've got the manual or not. So, lo and behold, I did check inside it. It had the manual, and wow, was that minty fresh. That is absolutely brilliantly for the condition that's in. Absolutely brilliant for the condition it's in. And yeah, check the disc after they put it in. I always go outside and check the disc, because obviously it's not a local to me store, as in very easy to get to, and the disc is absolutely mint as well. So I was really, really impressed with the condition of this. And as I say, only £2.50, it's not expensive. So it's ironic that that turned up after me mentioning it in my last video. So maybe if I mentioned the other one, which was Summer Athletics, the Great Tournament, I think that's the last sort of athletics game I need across the winter and the summer ones, which is like a £10 game. That one is a bit more uncommon, and I've never ever seen that in a CEX before. So now I've mentioned it, come on, you've got to turn up. Right, next game that I saw there is one of the 2 PopCat Hits games, and this is the first one, the first volume, I believe. I think it's 2, and this is the first one. So you get four games which were released on the Xbox Live Arcade Marketplace on one disc. You get Bejeweled 2, you get Peggle, you get Feeding Frenzy, and I think that one's called something like Astro Pop. And as I say, I know they keep the manuals in the cases, so when I saw the manual in there, and again, the condition of this manual is immaculate, and it was Astro Pop. So when I saw the condition of that manual, I was like, oh my God, I don't see this ever in my CEX stores. I don't think I've ever seen it in a CEX store when I've made a visit to one. So I absolutely had to nab that. It's absolutely an awesome condition, and only a £5 as well. And I'm going to drop my usual line. If it's £10 or less and I ain't got it, and it's in a CEX right in front of me and in great condition, I'm going to nab it. So really pleased that one of these has finally turned up. So I hope the second one will turn up very soon as well. And the last game I picked up from CEX was Tom Clancys Hawks 2. I've got the first one, just didn't have the second one. £1.50, no money at all, falls under what I've just said. Inside, again, great condition manual, fantastic. None of these manuals, by the way, have been attacked by a game or had a sticker on them as well. So really, really good condition stuff there that I've picked up. So very happy with all 3 games. A couple of games that I did see that I left behind. I had a copy of Magna Carta, priced up at £20. Unfortunately, no manual in that, and it was in an original Xbox case as well, so that one got left behind. And they had Rock Band 3 as well, which is the last Rock Band game I'm missing, and again, no manual in that, so left that behind. They were 2 pricier titles, and certainly with no manual, I was never going to pick those 2 up. But we did get 3 lovely condition games, which I'm super pleased to have added to that quest for the full 360 set power region that I am going for. Anyway, we hit up all the charity shops and the cash converters, as I said. A lot of charity shops, not many of them had games, and when they did, they weren't great. But we did manage to pick up a couple of bits, and the first one came from a charity shop, and it's a Connect game, and getting ever closer to getting all of the Power Connect games. It's probably something, I say this all the time, I might actually mean it this time and really do it, but I think I'm going to focus on getting the Connect set done, because I really do like the Connect. As I always say, again, it's a bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. But yes, this one comes from an Oxfam, 99p, as you'll see. I think it's only like 150 in CEX, so it's not an expensive game, but I just never see it in my ones. I think I saw it once like 3 years ago, and it was absolutely battered with no manual or something like that. This one does have a manual, which is obviously key to me picking it up. It does have a battered case though, but that's not an issue. I think there's a copy of Connect Adventures which is going to die to make this one nice and neat at some point, because that is just absolutely everywhere and costs no money at all. I think I might have a case somewhere for it. I haven't checked yet. But yeah, that was the only thing wrong with that. And it come from an Oxfam. It's the Oxfam one that looks like a bookstore, but also does media. So it has DVDs and CDs and games in it as well. And do you know what? These were kind of hidden away. There was like a row on the floor. You'll see it clearer when Al finally puts out his video from his day out. But there's a row just on the floor, and it's just like, you really wouldn't know unless you really hunted or already knew. So yeah, I'm glad we had a thorough hunt and we was able to find them, and I picked this up as well. Anyway, as we was queuing up, because they were upstairs, they had a cash register upstairs and a cash register downstairs. As we were queuing up for that, sort of stood beside the DVDs. I did pick up a DVD as well. It's gaming related, so I'll just chuck that in there as well. I've got Silent Hill Revelation, it's only 99p. Alright, okay, so it's probably a bit much for buying a DVD in a charity shop nowadays, but I don't mind when it's for charity, and I don't mind when it's horror, and the fact it's gaming related as well is really nice. Looks interesting. I haven't got around to watching the first Silent Hill film, which I do own, but do you know, I didn't even know about this film, so when I saw it I thought, you know, 99p, while I'm standing in the queue, it's no money at all, is it? I'll pick that up because of the horror fan that I am. Okay, after that and a few more charity shops which were unsuccessful, we eventually found Cash Converters, and I did pick up one game from there, and that game was How to Train Your Dragon 2. Still need the first one. As you'll see, it was £4. Now, that Cash Converters was a little bit out of the way. It wasn't the biggest of stores, but they had a reasonable selection of games. However, they were very much slightly above CEX price, or even higher, and it's like they've done their research from CEX but knocks it up a little bit. Some games were the same price as they were in CEX, and out of those ones, this was one of the ones that I actually needed, and due to the fact that I had left the manuals in there, and there's my receipt there, and the manual was in there in a nice condition, I thought, you know, it's the same price at CEX, and again, this is one that I just don't see around too often on the shelves in CEX. Whenever I visit, I'll nab it. And the disc were behind the counter. I popped the disc in. I checked the disc in that it popped in when I went outside before I sort of walked away. The disc is in lovely condition, and that's fine. So I just thought, you know, I'll nab that for £4. It's the same as CEX and it's in good condition. So why not? We'll get another one ticked off the list. And then finally, we did do a few more charity shops, and then I said to her, do you know what? I saw a charity shop a couple of doors up from CEX that I swear we didn't go in. And we went back there and I was right. Doesn't happen very often, but I was right. And lo and behold, they actually had two Xbox 360 games in the window. One was Destiny, and the other one was something else very common as well that we both had. And then we went inside and had the smallest piles of game ever. It was literally like 4, but I needed one. And the one that I needed was Sniper 2 Ghost Warrior. I had to get the list out that I keep on my phone to double check whether I had it or not, because I knew I had one of the Ghost Warriors. It turned out to be the first one. So, yeah. Everything was left inside in the charity shop. It was right next to the counter, so I just bold as brass in front of the lady, just checked the disc, because, you know, that's what I like to do. I don't want a bad disc. And yeah, it had a manual in it as well. Obviously, I'm going to be looking for that. Check the disc. The disc is perfect. It is fine. It was priced up at £3. They sell this in CEX for £5, and £3 is what they would give you in trade credit. But obviously, it's going the full set, so it's not going back, even if I don't like it. But yeah, pleased to pick that up, and pleased to obviously help a charity shop out that isn't overcharging for their games. And £3 isn't a lot, and nice to have that one ticked off the collection. Now, as per usual, one thing that I forget a lot to do at the end of these videos is include the total of how many 360 games I am now up to. However, I haven't forgotten this time, but I haven't probably counted properly. I think my list was at 896 before I went out to Chelmsford CEX and obviously added some more games. So we have now passed the 900 mark. The problem I've got at the moment, by the way, is I'm playing all of my 360 games at the moment, working my way through and unlocking one achievement from each. So I have found that a couple of games have left the collection lately. So whereas I am currently now at over 900, I'm very much around the marker and might drop below it, even though I picked up more than 4 games. So what have we got here? We've got 3 from CA. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 6 games. So at the moment, the list is going to go up to 902. With game 900 for the first time being the hip hop dance game that I picked up there. So that was technically game 900 in the collection. But as I'm working through the collection, I might find a couple of other games don't work and they might get removed and things like that. But I think we'll pick up more games before we find more games that don't work, and hopefully we won't find more games that don't work. But anyway, do you know what? I'm waffling on here for far long enough at the end of the video. So we have passed 900 games in the 360 collection. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was my day out in Chelmsford to visit the CEX and hitting up all the charity shops and the cash converters as well. Picked up a few games. Again, thank you to Big Game Al for the kind gesture of always taking us to these places, even though I don't own a car and can drive, but I just don't own a car. So thank you very much again, mate. Do appreciate that very much. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit a thumbs up. That would be pretty awesome. YouTube likes it when you do that. And please consider subscribing if you're new to the channel and not subscribed already. I would love that if you do that. I do love all my current subscribers already. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. And as always, please do take care.